Hey, it's Skip again. Hey, I wanted to touch bases with you on a subject that has come up so much lately. I have a lot of conversations with people about websites and what they should do. I recently had a conversation with a friend, and he's in construction, and he wants a website, and he has one, but it's never done anything for him, and he's trying to figure out how to move forward and get that website, either get that website to work or have a website built that will work. And he asked me some critical questions, and he was coming from a place of really genuinely not knowing and understanding even the role that the website might play in his business, and really needed a lot of help. Good in his craft, knows his business, but knows nothing about online marketing or websites and that kind of thing. And that, by the way, is very typical. I talk to so many people at a given time. Every week I'm in environments where I have a lot of business people that I'm interacting with. And this is a very common scenario. The first thing you have to ask is, what do you want the website for? And the majority of websites, and I would say in the high 90 percentile of websites that are made are really nothing more than online brochures. People will have their card, they'll have their website on their card, they send people to their website, they can look up the information they want on their website, but it requires personal one-on-one interaction with all the people who might ultimately end up in that website. And that, by the way, that's okay. I mean, if that's what you want, and you want to use it as an online brochure and something that you can update over time and keep up with and that kind of thing, and have current information, nothing wrong with that at all. That's just fine. And in that case, you don't need to do a whole lot about search engine optimization and all that kind of thing. You don't need to worry about that a lot. And a program, a platform like Wix, or there's several of them. There's a bunch of platforms that are very easy to do. And most people, the sites are fairly intuitive, so most people can probably go in and figure it out and set it up or follow the instructions and what have you and be okay with that. But there's another side to this, and that is that so many people have higher expectations than that. They really believe that if they put up a website, people are going to see it and want to do business. And that's just not the case. It just does not work that way. In the very early days, there was a certain aspect of that was true and that was fine, but that we're long past that anymore. And so you put up a website, and people are not automatically going to go to that website. Whatever business you're in, there's a whole lot of other people in that same space that are wanting to do essentially the same thing and are putting up websites. So your competition is not against just a handful of people; it's against millions. The next thing is, do you have a website that looks pretty and it's got all the pictures and basic information about your product and all those kinds of things? Does it make a difference in terms of the content that you have, the pictures that you have, and how it looks? Does that make a difference? Well, sure it does. That's always important. But that said, is it important in the light of the fact that no one's actually going to the site unless you send them there? I mean, the nicer you could have your online brochure, or however you're using it, the better. That's all true. But you really want a website that's going to be highly functional and visible. Now, if your ultimate goal is for people to come to the site and get the information they want and ultimately purchase, then there's a whole lot more to that process than just putting up a pretty looking site. And so how do you go about that? Is it possible to build on these simple platforms like Wix? I use Wix a lot for various things, and so I'm not knocking Wix at all, by the way. And there's a lot of other programs that can do the same thing. Those programs do serve a purpose, and there's nothing wrong with that again. But in terms of setting them up so that traffic will come to them, you have to understand traffic is not going to actually automatically come to those sites just because you have a nice site. That doesn't happen. You have to know how to drive traffic to the site. There's really a couple of elements to that. Driving traffic means two things. One, there's such thing as organic traffic. Organic traffic means you got to have that thing optimized to the hilt, even to the extent that you optimize your pictures, your photographs, so that you have a pixelation that's still a sharp image, but not so much pixelation that it causes the websites to load up slowly. Are you using video in it? If so, how are you going about that? What's the resolution on your videos? So all those things are important. And then there's all that back end stuff that is a little less obvious. For example, I had somebody come to me recently. We were talking about the websites and about a particular referral. In fact, this one individual, the construction, asked me this question as well. He had a referral from a friend that said he would help him with the site. And I said, well, ask him a question. Ask him if he knows how to set up a website so that it's visible to the web crawlers. Well, he looked at me with a blank stare, and what's a web crawler? So I talked to him a little bit about a web crawler, the fact that Google has something that goes out and looks at all the sites in the effort to see what's there and to rank them and that kind of thing. And I'm giving you the tip of the iceberg here. But there are so many IT guys that can go in and set up and do all the technical parts of making a website look pretty and functional that don't know those things, don't understand some of the back end issues as to how you make that website visible to attract organic traffic, so that when people are doing a word search, they're searching a keyword or keyword phrase. In this case, this fellow is in construction. So you might have a keyword phrase like looking for high quality construction contractor. And that's your keyword long tail phrase. Well, you put that in quotes, and you go out there and you look for that. Well, you include that in your back end sites, your meta tags, that kind of thing. Is that going to make you more visible? Well, yeah, if you understand keywords and how they work, that's going to make you more visible. That's still not the only element involved in making your site visible. There's things like understanding your sitemap, understanding how you boil it down to the principal things on your site that you want people to see. There's an awful lot of things on your site that are supportive and important, but not nearly as important as perhaps your product page and your blog. If you have a blog or whatever, how do you isolate those things on your sitemap so that people are going to those things as opposed to being distracted by other things that they might be drawn to? So I'm not going to go any further into that, all the technical side of it. But here's the point. Is that there's a lot of IT guys that can set up all the technical parts of your website, but not necessarily understand what you're trying to accomplish on the back end relative to marketing and drawing people in. So there's the marketing aspect. You've got designers, you've got IT guys who can put it together, and then you've got marketing. Marketing has to be consistent from front to back. So are you dealing with one individual that has all those skills? Are you dealing with several individuals who can work together towards a common cause? Here's my point. The more you want that website to function and to produce results, the more elements are required to make that happen, including the IT things and the design, and of course all the marketing aspects being consistent throughout. All those things have to come together. It costs money, and sometimes you wonder, well, why is it possible to spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 for a website, and sometimes even more than that? Well, because you need all those things, and it doesn't mean because you spend a lot of money that you're going to get the best expertise. That's not an absolute truth. However, it's likely that you're not going to get that kind of expertise without spending an awful lot of money. Is it worth it? Absolutely. If you have a website that's pulling people in and you're getting conversion rates and making sales, then ultimately it's worth it, particularly when you compare that to the cost of conventional brick and mortar business. But then there's all that other side is, can you afford all those things? If you're going online and doing business, you're probably not expecting to spend tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in setting up your business. There's people who do, of course. That's large corporations and whatnot can do that. But for the average individual, a lot of people are looking to make money and they don't necessarily have a lot of resources. So what are the answers? Well, now for myself, not wanting to spend a whole lot of money and understanding web construction and online marketing as I do, I decided, you know what? I'll learn the extra things I need to learn about those back-end issues so that I can optimize my site consistent with my marketing needs. I'll learn it myself. Now, I've done that. And I recommend that anybody that wants to get in and really have control and not allow the algorithms to create problems for you, then learn how to build and manage a site that's going to work to your end of drawing people in and getting sales conversions. It's worth it to learn that, and if it means buying into a course to do that, look at the price of the course and the return on investment, and the fact that from that point forward you have knowledge that moving down the line, you got control over your marketing, your systems, and your business and how it goes. So those are very important considerations. How are you going to use your site? Do you want it to draw people? And then Once you have that, how do you drive traffic? Because driving traffic to a site is a very different issue than having the website in and of itself. The website is important, but driving traffic to it is that's another element that beyond just the website itself. How do you market and get people to go to your website? And then once you do that, are you capturing the information that you need to stay in touch and follow up with those people who have touched bases with you, so you can ensure that you're able to satisfy their needs and what they're looking for? So there's a lot of things, and I don't mean to ramble on and on and on. What I was hoping to do in this video is simply open up some doors, have you take a little closer look at what it is you want to accomplish, and with the understanding that whatever it is you want to accomplish, you can, but there's some things involved. You'll be personally involved in the process. You get your choice. You can learn how to do it yourself. You can pay for somebody else to do it, whatever your options. But it always is going to require, if you really want to drive traffic and do business based on your website, it's going to require an awful lot more than a pretty website, and a little more depth. So anyway, I hope I've enlightened you a little bit. These are bits and pieces and fragments of that conversation I had with this fellow in construction, so that he would get a bigger picture of what it is that his options might be and how he wants to proceed. I think the most efficient way to do it is to learn to do it yourself. If you go into a website and all that's done by somebody else, that's nice, but you're limited because you can't adjust or grow or stay ahead of the curve when it comes to the long term and ensuring that website is always going to be have a dominant position in your market space. So there's a lot to it. So I hope I didn't waste your time. I wanted to keep this under 15 minutes, and I think I've done that. This is just a little bit of information that will help. And throughout this, my own website, there's products and services and things that can help you on these issues. I hope that helps you at all. I've got a comment section here. Leave comments if you have a moment. I love to hear the comments and pro and con, and if there's something there and more that I can help you with, I'm happy to help walk people through the systems so they understand how to get the most out of their interaction online. So anyway, having said all of that, I think I hit the 12-minute mark. I just went a little bit over it, and with that, there's going to be lots more coming down the road. So in the meantime, good health, good marketing, and God bless. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.